What if everything you've ever been told about learning is, well, just wrong? What if you could pick up a new skill so fast that it almost feels like you're cheating? Stick around because we are about to tear down the old rules and build a system that does exactly that.
You've heard this before, right? We all have. It's that sinking feeling you get when you start something new. This idea that it's going to take a lifetime of grinding away. And honestly, it's daunting. It stops so many of us before we even get started. Not really. Just think about that for a second. What if that whole belief system is a myth? What if the timeline we've just accepted as a fact is actually the slow lane, for people who don't know any of the shortcuts? And that is the big secret right there. The folks who seem to learn new things almost overnight, they don't have some special learning gene. Nope, they just have a system. It's a simple, repeatable, three-part system that cuts right through all the noise, and today, we are gonna steal their playbook. So, here's our game plan. First, we'll totally bust that myth of slow learning. Then, I'm gonna walk you through the 3 core tricks, how to find that crucial 20%, why you should drill instead of just practicing, and this really powerful cycle called see one, do one, teach one. By the end of this, you'll have a brand new, supercharged learning system ready to go. Let's kick things off with the first trick, which is really the foundation for everything else. You wanna know the biggest reason people learn slowly? It's because they try to learn everything. But the truth is, most of what you could learn is just useless noise.
It's the classic problem, isn't it? You open the textbook, you start the online course, and bam, you're hit with this tidal wave of information. It's totally overwhelming. But the fastest learners, they know exactly where to find the real starting line. And the answer is right here, the 80-20 rule. In pretty much any skill you can think of, a tiny little piece of the knowledge, about 20%, is responsible for the vast majority of the results. Your job isn't to learn it all. Your job is to find that critical 20% and just ruthlessly ignore the rest, at least for now.
Think about learning guitar. The old way has you spending months trying to memorize all these obscure chords you'll probably never ever use. The smart way? You figure out that with just 4 simple chords, you can play literally thousands of popular songs. You get 80% of the fun with just 20% of the effort. Okay, so you've found your crucial 20%. Now what? How do you master it efficiently? Well, this brings us to trick number 2, which is all about stopping practicing and starting to drill. Let's say you're getting ready for a big presentation. What's the standard advice? Just run through the whole thing again and again and again. You just kind of hope that by repeating it enough, you'll get better. But that is so inefficient because you're spending most of your time on the parts you already know. A smart learner does the exact opposite. They'll run through the skill just once, identify their single biggest weakness, that one thing that's holding them back, and then they attack it with surgical precision. This is what we call the drill down method. So for public speaking, maybe your weak point is making eye contact. Okay, forget the speech for a minute. Just drill eye contact. Practice looking at a spot on the wall for 30 seconds, then a minute. Once that one little thing becomes automatic, you bring it back into the full speech. And now, you're not even thinking about it anymore, which frees up your brain to find the next weakest point. See how that works?
All right, time for our third and final trick. This is a real rapid-fire technique for making new information stick, and it comes straight out of medical schools. A place where you have to learn things quickly and get them right.
It's called see one, do one, teach one. And the reason it's so incredibly powerful is that it yanks you out of being a passive listener and makes you an active processor. Each step forces your brain to grapple with the material in a totally different way, which basically cements it into your memory. So here's the cycle. First, you see. You watch an expert perform the skill. Don't try to take notes, don't try to memorize it, just watch. Second, you do. And this is the most important part. You have to do it immediately. No waiting around, just jump in and try it. Finally, you teach. You explain what you just did out loud to another person, or hey, even just record a voice memo on your phone. Let's apply this to something that seems complex, like coding. You watch a quick tutorial on a concept, maybe an if statement. That's your C1. Then you immediately hit pause and you write your own if statement from scratch. That's your do one. Finally, you turn to your webcam or just talk to yourself and explain it. Okay, so this first line declares the variable, and the reason it works is that's teach one. It's the act of having to say it out loud that really locks it in your brain. So there you have it. We've covered the 3 core tricks. Now let's pull it all together into one simple, super powerful system that you can start using, like right now. And here it is. This is your new cheat sheet, your unfair advantage. First, you find that 20% of the skill that gives you 80% of the payoff. Second, you isolate your weakest link and you drill it relentlessly until it's second nature. And third, you lock it all in using that see one, do one, teach one cycle. This system will absolutely make you learn faster than you ever thought possible. But that leaves us with one final, pretty important question, doesn't it? Learning fast is great, but what's the point if you just forget 90% of it a week later? How do you make what you learn stick? Forever. That might just have to be a question for another day.